Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. I am so glad you are joining me this morning. Before we talk about today's worship service, let's sing a quick song to welcome everyone that has joined us. Hello, everybody. How do you do? How do you do? How do you do? Hello, everybody. How do you do? God loves you today. Yay!
Oh, hello. Oh, good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. I'm so glad that you are here with me this morning. Before we talk about today's... What's that? Oh, y'all already sang the song? That's great. Well, welcome. Hello. And I'm glad that you're here. Today is the 24th Sunday after Pentecost, during what we call ordinary time. You might notice I'm in a different space this morning, and that's because I'm visiting my family to help out after my dad had some surgeries. I will be back in New York very soon, and I'm excited to see all of you again. We will start today's worship service with our call to worship, which, remember, is how we call our minds and our hearts and our whole bodies to be present with God. The words from today's call to worship are from the same psalm as our first reading. After we do our call to worship, we'll sing a hymn. Good job. Then we'll say peace to one another. Peace. Peace. Next, we'll hear our three readings. The first reading is from the book of Psalms. Remember the one from the call to worship? We'll hear the words, "Before the mountains came into being, before you brought forth the earth and the world, from eternity to eternity, you are God." Our second reading is from the book of 1 Thessalonians, which is a letter. We will hear, "Therefore, encourage one another and build up each other, as indeed you are doing." I like that the writer acknowledges that, hey, you're already doing that. And do you remember, we read a passage from this same letter last week, and in that part of the letter, the writer also reminded them to encourage one another. That makes me think that this was pretty important to them. Our third reading is from the Gospel according to Matthew. Remember, the Gospels are the books of the Bible that tell about Jesus' life. Today's reading is a parable. Do you remember what a parable is? Yeah, it's like a story designed to share a message. One of the things that I love about parables is that each time I hear a parable, even if I know it and I've heard it 80 times before, I might hear something different. I might take away a different message. So when you and maybe another member of your family hear a parable, maybe talk about what you're hearing. You might have different messages that you heard, and you might be able to learn from what the other one took away. You can also draw or write to kind of process what you're hearing. For our story today, we will hear the book, "They All Saw a Cat" by Brendan Wenzel. Are you ready? They All Saw a Cat by Brendan Wenzel. The cat walked through the world with its whiskers, ears, and paws, and the child saw a cat, and the dog saw a cat, and the fox saw a cat. Yes, they all saw the cat. The cat walked through the world with its whiskers, ears, and paws, and the fish saw a cat, And the mouse saw a cat. And the bee saw a cat. Yes, they all saw the cat. The cat walked through the world with its whiskers, ears, and paws. And the bird saw a cat. And the flea saw a cat. And the snake saw a cat. And the skunk saw a cat. And the worm saw a cat. And the bat saw a cat. Yes, they all saw the cat. Yes, they all saw a cat. A child and a dog and a fox and a fish and a mouse and a bee and a bird and a flea and a snake and a skunk and a worm and a bat. The cat knew them all, and they all knew the cat. And the cat walked through the world with its whiskers, ears, and paws. Then it came to the water. And imagine what it saw. The end. I love that we can learn more about the cat by hearing from the child, the dog, the fox, the mouse, the bee, the flea, the snake, the skunk, the worm, the bat, and even the cat itself. There was the fact that the cat was there, but they all had more details to tell us about that cat. And that's pretty cool. That makes me think about how we can learn more about ourselves, about God, and about our world by listening to and learning from and encouraging one another. When you are worried or sad or mad about something in your life, I hope you find God's love. Maybe your church family or your neighbor can help you, or maybe you just need to be told that you are loved. When you are able to help to make something right, I hope you can do so too. I believe that you can show God's love. To close today, we will sing the same Compassion Camp song that is our middle hymn. It's called Compassion Prayer by Amanda Meisenheimer. Just like in the name of the song, you can hear it's a prayer. And this prayer is a prayer that we will both find God's love and show God's love. Are you ready? May we be filled with compassion. May we be filled up to the top of our hearts when we have the power to make something right. May we show God's love. May we be filled with compassion. May we be found in the center of peace when we have a need that others can meet. May we find God's love. I really do say that prayer for you, and I hope you enjoyed the service today. Goodbye.